Some kind of surprising news. Kamala Harris has actually endorsed Zohran Mamdani for mayor of New York City. Politico reports, Harris said Monday that she supports Mamdani in New York City's mayoral race, becoming the highest profile Democrat to publicly back the far left candidate. So Kathy Hochul did it before, but yeah, Kamala Harris is now the most high profile Democrat to do so. Quote, "Look, as far as I'm concerned, he's the Democratic nominee and he should be supported," Harris told MSNBC's Rachel Maddow in an appearance promoting her new book, 107 Days. Asked if she was endorsing Mamdani, the former vice president said, "I support the Democrat in the race, sure." That is a pretty milquetoast answer. That's pretty lukewarm. I support the Democrat. You know, he just happens to be the Democrat. He happens to be not independent or not Republican, so I support him, I endorse him. Sure. The term sure, you know, it's kind of casual, like, oh yeah, you know, you could say that. Yeah, maybe, sure. Like not emphatically, yes, we need him to win. We need a new vision for New York City, but sure. But the Californian also warned Maddow's audience not to, quote, over-index on New York City. Quote, "He's not the only star," Harris said. "He's in New York, and I know New Yorkers think they're the center of the world. There are people like Barbara Drummond in Mobile, Alabama, Helena Marino in New Orleans. They're all running for mayor too, and they are stars." Okay, that's true. Everyone running for mayor should be covered by the media. Everyone running for mayor should be allowed to get their message out. New York City has a higher population than any of those cities. It gets more attention. So Zohran Mamdani is going to get more attention. He also runs on a more bold platform than almost any mayoral candidate has, Democratic Socialist. And he's moderated in some ways, you know, talking about police. Like he's no longer saying he wants to abolish the police. But he's gotten a lot of attention for some of his campaign, strategies like walking across Manhattan 13 miles to campaign. Talk about a burn and a strain on the feet. Harris's lukewarm nod comes amid a pressure in the Democratic Party over Zohran Mamdani's candidacy, with some top leaders still withholding their support. Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries declined over the weekend to say if they'll endorse the Democratic Socialist. Jay Jacobs, the state Democratic Party chair in New York, said last week that he wouldn't endorse the Democratic mayoral nominee. That followed New York Governor Kathy Hochul's endorsement in a New York Times guest essay that she was endorsing Mamdani. Okay, so it is kind of surprising that Kamala Harris is endorsing him. She's more of a centrist than plenty of other Democrats. She's not someone who generally gets behind really like solid left candidates. She seems like the type of person who would be like, oh yeah, no, I'm happy if he wins, but like, I don't really care. You know, she's more pro-Israel, but not as pro-Israel as some people like Chuck Schumer maybe, or John Fetterman, obviously. But yeah, I'm not surprised that Schumer and Jeffries are still withholding support, because I would say that they're even more centrist and corporatist than Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris also picked Tim Walz as her VP, and Tim Walz is a pretty solidly left dude. So she's shown ability to kind of, build bridges with people who are more on the solid left. I would say Mamdani's even more left-wing than Tim Walz. But yeah, credit where it's due. I think she acknowledges that she's got to get behind this. And it might actually come back to haunt her if she doesn't in the 2028 presidential primary, which I could very well see her running in. And many people are saying she is going to run in because she declined to run for California governor in 2026 to replace Gavin Newsom. So yeah, I think this is a strategic play to some extent. She doesn't want to be too emphatic in endorsing him and be like, yes, this is the way to go. New York City must go Democratic Socialist. Mamdani's great. Capitalism bad. No, she's not going to do that. But she is going to say, yeah, no, look, cool. He's a Democratic nominee. I think he should win. That way she can claim, oh, leftists, don't get upset with me. I have a very good progressive record. I endorse Zohran Mamdani, even though it was a very lukewarm endorsement. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think this is strategic? Do you think it's genuine? What do you think about her 2028 chances? What do you think about Zohran Mamdani's chances? Like, comment, or subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. This is the more the merrier, and I look forward to speaking to you in my next video.